Okay, let's unpack this. When you picture kids' swimwear,
Yeah.
you probably think of, a small seasonal purchase,
Right.
right?
Maybe a couple of suits for summer vacation, swim lessons.
Exactly. But what if we told you that this, well, seemingly niche market is actually a multi-billion-dollar global industry,
Hmm.
and it's experiencing this really fascinating wave of economic activity, reveal some surprising things about global trends, too.
I am intrigued.
Welcome to the deep dive. Our mission, as always, is to cut through the noise, sift through the sources.
And give you that shortcut to being well-informed.
Precisely. So today, we're taking a deep dive into the global kids' swimwear market.
Right.
We spent time with a comprehensive report by Cognitive Market Research, looked at its performance, its future projections.
Okay.
And our goal for you today isn't just, rattling off numbers.
No, it's about understanding the why, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Unpacking the deeper trends, the surprising growth spots, and really getting why this vibrant sector is making such a splash globally.
Sounds good. So where do we start? The scale.
Let's set the stage. The sheer scale here is pretty impressive. Globally, this market hit a sales revenue of nearly $2.9 billion.
Wow. Billion with a B.
In 2021 alone, think about that, almost $3 billion just for what our kids wear in the water.
And what's truly fascinating, I think, isn't just that current size, which is considerable.
Right.
It's the undeniable acceleration they're projecting for the coming years.
Okay.
So by 2025, that figure, it's expected to climb to about $3.67 billion.
Mm-hmm.
And looking further out, say to 2033, the projections indicate a really significant rise. Nearly $6 billion.
$6 billion.
Specifically, $5.918 billion.
That's huge.
It is. And this translates into a really robust compound annual growth rate, the CAGR,
Yeah.
of 6.147% over more than a decade.
So this isn't just a ripple effect.
Not at all. It's a powerful, sustained wave of growth. And it signals some fundamental shifts, in global economies and consumer behavior.
That's a staggering trajectory for something, well, many of us might just see as a simple seasonal item.
Absolutely.
So what does this tell us? I mean, yes, lots more kids hitting the water,
Sure, that's part of it.
but it also points to a tremendous amount of exciting economic activity, evolving lifestyles happening behind the scenes.
Exactly.
So we're going to break down where this growth is actually coming from globally. Look at the underlying drivers.
And maybe some specific countries leading the charge.
Definitely. Let's explore what makes this market tick and why it's, well, clearly more than just fabric and fashion.
All right, let's dive in. Where first?
Let's maybe begin our global tour with the more established economies, starting in North America.
Makes sense. Okay, North America.
Here, the kids' swimwear market generated a solid, let's see, $679.75 million back in 2021.
Okay, a strong base.
And it's projected to reach $839.07 million by 2025. And then climb up to about $1.278 billion by 2033.
Right, so maintaining a pretty steady CGR of 5.403%.
Which indicates, a mature market, but one that definitely continues to expand.
That's a great point about maturity. And within North America, obviously the United States leads in terms of sheer volume,
Naturally.
contributing over $1 billion to that market by 2033.
Oh.
But if you dig a little deeper, what's kind of interesting is how other countries in the region are performing.
Oh, yeah. Like who?
Well, Canada, for instance, is showing a slightly higher growth rate than the U.S. Its CAGR is 5.964%.
Higher than the U.S. Interesting.
Yeah. And Mexico, while it's starting from a smaller base, of course,
Right.
is also projected for robust expansion. That's a 5.658% CAGR.
So consistent growth across the board there, really.
It suggests factors beyond just population growth. It could be increasing disposable incomes, maybe a growing emphasis on health, leisure activities.
And maybe even social media driving kids' fashion trends.
Could be. Absolutely.
Oh,
It points to families maybe investing more in leisure quality products.
Okay. So, North America, mature but steady growth. What about Europe? Often seen as a fashion trendsetter, right? How does that market compare?
Europe presents an equally compelling picture, I'd say, though, with its own nuances.
Okay.
The market there stood at $726.03 million in 2021.
Slightly higher than North America's start.
A bit higher, yeah.
Hmm.
Expected to grow to $903.33 million by 2025 and ultimately reach $1.414 billion by 2033.
Okay. And the growth rate?
The regional CEGR is strong, 5.765%, so
Yeah.
actually slightly higher than North America's overall growth.
Huh. Why do you think that is?
Well, if we connect it to the bigger picture, it's interesting to see the varying speeds within Europe itself.
Okay.
For instance, Germany really stands out, an impressive CGR of 6.476%.
Wow, that's quite high.
Yeah, projected to nearly double its 2021 figure by 2033.
Yeah.
And, the UK, France, Italy also show robust growth, generally with KGRs above 5%.
So what might be driving that slightly higher overall growth in Europe compared to North America? And are there any sort of exceptions to that trend within Europe?
Excellent question. The higher overall growth. Well, it could be factors like a strong tourist industry, especially in Southern Europe.
Right, beaches and holidays.
Exactly. Increasing urbanization, too, and maybe a consistent focus on family-centric leisure.
Makes sense.
But, as you asked, it's definitely not uniform. We see some interesting outliers.
Like?
For example, Russia's market shows a lower growth rate, 4.365% CAGR.
Okay.
And Luxembourg also records a slower 4.685% CAGR.
So what could explain those differences?
It could point to diverse demographic trends, maybe specific market saturation in some areas, or even, more conservative consumer spending habits.
Right.
It just reminds us that even within one continent, consumer landscapes can vary pretty dramatically.
Yeah.
It's a mosaic of different economic and cultural drivers.
That's a really insightful point about those internal variations. Okay, now, here's where I think it gets really interesting and perhaps challenges some of our, conventional thinking. Let's look at the Asia-Pacific region,
Okay.
the growth engine. This is truly where we see some, explosive growth. The region started at $1.099 billion in 2021.
Already a big number.
Huge, reaching $1.426 billion by 2025 and projected to nearly double its 2021 figure by 2033, hitting $2.408 billion.
Wow, $2.4 billion.
Which reflects a staggering regional CAGR of 6.766%.
Okay, so significantly outpacing both North America and Europe.
Significantly.
This is truly a powerhouse region. And what's fascinating are the specific engines driving that growth.
Go on.
Well, while China obviously leads the market in sheer volume, expected to hit over $673 million by 2033, with a strong CGR of 6.983%.
Right, big population.
And Japan showing solid expansion, too.
Yeah.
It's India that's truly astonishing.
India, really?
Yes, India is projected to be one of the fastest-growing markets globally. It's posting the highest EGR in the entire region.
Get ready for this.
At a whopping 7.56%.
7.5%. That's incredible.
It's on track to nearly quadruple its 2021 figure of about $166 million to almost $400 million by 2033.
Wow, quadruple. That's a massive acceleration for India. It really paints a vivid picture of, burgeoning consumer base.
Absolutely.
What specific factors are fueling such incredible growth there? It can't just be population.
No, India's astonishing growth isn't just about its massive population. It's really a confluence of powerful socioeconomic trends.
Such as?
We're seeing a burgeoning middle class, with rapidly increasing disposable incomes, especially in urban centers.
Okay.
This demographic shift is leading to greater investment in children's well-being, leisure activities.
Makes sense. More money, more focus on kids' activities.
And there's also significant development in recreational infrastructure. More public and private swimming pools, water parks, beach resorts opening up.
So the opportunity to swim is growing too.
Precisely. And maybe even cultural norms around leisure are evolving.
Yeah.
Families increasingly embracing swimming as a healthy, enjoyable activity.
So it's like a perfect storm for the kids' swimwear market there.
Exactly what it looks like.
And it's not just India, right? Are there other standouts in Asia-Pacific echoing this kind of trend?
Absolutely. Singapore, for example, recorded an impressive KGR of 7.074%.
Also very high.
Yeah, projected to more than double its market by 2033.
Why Singapore, do you think?
Well, it could be attributed to its high per capita income, very urban lifestyle, strong tourism sector. Leisure activities are a significant part of consumer spending there.
Right.
And then Southeast Asia as a whole also stands out, growing at a fantastic 7.36% CAGR.
Wow, the whole sub-region.
Reflecting similar dynamics,
Yeah.
Rising incomes, a youthful population, growing embrace of aquatic leisure.
It really paints a picture of a region where economic development just directly translates into new consumer preferences, new market opportunities.
For items like children's swimwear. Exactly.
Okay, moving beyond Asia now, let's turn our attention south to South America.
Okay. Another high-growth area.
Seems like it. The kids' swimwear market revenue there was $161.98 million in 2021, projected to reach $344.54 million by 2033.
Right. And the CAGR.
expanding at a strong regional CAGR of 6.475%.
Okay, so again, clearly outperforming North America and Europe in terms of that growth rate.
Definitely.
Indeed. And while Brazil contributes the largest share in South America, growing steadily at a 6.335% CAGR.
Which is still very healthy.
Very healthy.
Isabel.
But it's Argentina that's truly making a splash here.
Argentina. How so?
Projected to more than double its 2021 market size by 2033, recording a strong 6.947% CAGR.
Nearly 7%. That's significant.
It is. And countries like Colombia, Peru, Chile, they're also contributing significantly with healthy CAGRs, all over 6%.
So what's the story in South America? Similar to Asia Pacific.
It seems to reflect similar trends, yes. Increasing urbanization, a growing middle class prioritizing leisure and family activities.
And maybe a cultural affinity for beach and pool time.
Perhaps, yeah, all fueling demand for these products.
It's really compelling seeing these patterns emerge across different continents, different cultures.
It really is.
Okay, let's shift focus again. The Middle East. Market revenue there was $124.38 million in 2021. Projected to reach $261.39 million by 2033, with a KGR of 6.365%.
Another strong growth rate. What's driving this in a region we might associate with different climate or cultural norms around swimwear?
Good question.
What's fascinating here is the consistent and often quite high growth across several nations in the Middle East.
Yeah.
It indicates some powerful underlying changes.
Such as?
Countries like Saudi Arabia show a strong 6.447% CAGR, projected to more than double its market by 2033.
Okay.
The UAE boasts an even more impressive 6.918% CAGR.
Wow.
And Turkey is growing vigorously, too, at 6.75% CAGR.
So what's behind these numbers?
These figures likely indicate a burgeoning market for leisure and children's products as economies in the Middle East continue to, diversify away from oil.
Right. Investing in tourism, infrastructure.
Exactly. Investing heavily in tourism. Developing modern open centers with extensive recreational facilities. Malls with pools, water parks.
So a clear lifestyle shift happening.
Seems like it. Making activities like swimming more accessible and desirable for families.
That makes perfect sense. Economic diversification leading directly to new consumer markets. Okay, finally, let's turn our attention to Africa.
Right, an important region.
Definitely. The kids' swimwear market there accounted for $101.24 million in 2021.
Okay, smaller base.
Smaller base, yes, and projected to reach $210.74 million by 2033 with a KGR of 5.73%.
So a respectable growth rate, maybe more in line with the developed markets?
The overall rate, yes, but
the drivers are probably very different, representing immense future potential.
exactly. It's an important and maybe often overlooked region to watch.
Absolutely. And which countries are leading there?
Well, South Africa seems to be leading the way with a 6.31% CAGR.
Okay, strong growth.
More than doubling its market size by 2033. Nigeria also shows solid growth, projected for a 5.977% CAGR.
Right.
So this signals that, increased urbanization, a rapidly expanding young population.
Huge youth demographic in many African countries.
Exactly. And a growing middle class across various countries are also contributing to this global demand for children's leisure wear.
So as access to amenities and disposable income continues to rise,
We can expect this region to contribute even more significantly down the line.
it really underscores how global economic development, even from very different starting points, consistently fuels growth in consumer goods like this.
Wow, what a truly illuminating journey that was. Around the globe, just through the lens of kids'
It
swimwear.
really puts it in perspective.
We've seen this consistent, energetic expansion from nearly, $2.9 billion in 2021?
To a projected $5.9 billion by 2033.
With that strong global CAGR of 6.147%. But like you said earlier, it's more than the numbers. It's the story they tell.
If we try to connect this to the bigger picture, it seems abundantly clear. While, yes, developed markets like North America and Europe are showing steady, reliable growth.
Driven maybe by innovation, premium products.
Perhaps. But the truly explosive potential, where you see the highest KGRs, lies squarely in emerging economies. Regions like Asia-Pacific leading the charge with that 6.766% CAGR, and South America with its 6.475% CAGR. They're really driving this market forward.
And fueled by specific countries we talked about.
Absolutely. Fueled by countries like India, with its truly astonishing 7.56% CAGR.
Doesn't cripple.
Singapore at an impressive 7.074%. Southeast Asia as a whole at 7.36%. And Argentina down in South America at a strong 6.947%.
Yeah.
These regions really illustrate that powerful combination of rising disposable incomes, rapid urbanization, expanding leisure infrastructure.
And shifting cultural priorities, too, towards recreation, wellness.
Exactly, all comes together.
It's such a compelling narrative, isn't it? Shifting
Right.
economic power, growing consumer bases globally.
Mhm.
And it highlights how consumer patterns for something as seemingly simple as children's swimwear can actually reflect these broader demographic and economic trends.
It's definitely not just about selling
No,
swimsuits.
it's like a testament to global development, increasing urbanization, and the growing value placed on leisure and recreation for families worldwide.
Which leads to an important question maybe for you, our listener.
Okay.
As global incomes continue to rise in these high-growth regions and access to leisure activities like swimming pools, beach vacations becomes more widespread,
Yeah.
what other niche consumer markets might be poised for similar, maybe unexpected, exponential growth in the coming decade?
Good question.
What else are we missing that's maybe bubbling just under the surface, waiting for these global shifts to bring it to the forefront?
Exactly. It's not just about the numbers themselves, it's about what those numbers tell us about the world we live in.
And maybe hint at for the future.
Right. We really hope this deep dive gave you a fresh perspective on a market you might, well, never have really considered before.
Hopefully.
What stands out to you about these trends we discussed? We really encourage you to keep thinking about these connections.